Hey guys, Madison here, back for week 3 of Madtober 2023. Last week on the channel, I watched Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho for the first time, and it was an incredible experience. There's been a lot of feedback, a lot of just people really showing that movie the love, and I really enjoyed reading all of your comments and hearing your stories about when you first saw Psycho and the impact it made on you. It's been so much fun reading through that because the movie definitely made an impact on me. So if you've watched that reaction, you'll know what I mean. Honestly, I really went in not expecting a lot from it. Maybe simple slasher is kind of what I went in thinking, but knowing Hitchcock, I should have expected more. And as usual, he did not disappoint. The more I worked my way through his filmography, the more I'm just enjoying it and realizing, I mean, he really is the master, because all of the movies of his that I've watched have just been absolutely incredible and all suspenseful, but all really, really different with their own flavor and their own little subgenre. And there were a lot of you on the reaction to Psycho who were saying, please watch The Birds, please watch The Birds next. And if you were one of those people, I think you're going to be very happy with this week's reaction, because I am watching The Birds for the first time. And just like with Psycho, completely unspoiled, completely blind reaction. I know nothing about this movie except, I assume, murder birds. And I hope this movie does not ruin birds for me, because I'm someone who, I definitely don't have a bird phobia. I've always loved birds. Most birds, I should say, like the birds you have in your yard, or like hawks and eagles and all of those sorts of things. I love birds. I don't like vultures or, buzzards, the scavenger birds. I don't like them, but the rest, they're cool. They're okay. I don't know what kind of birds these are. I've seen, I don't know, are they crows? I think I've seen like blackbirds maybe in the poster or something for this movie. And so I'm assuming it's like crows or something, which I'm not a big fan of crows. They're okay. They're around my house a lot. I see them like every day, but never been a crow person. I might really not be a crow person after I watch this movie. I don't know. But yeah, I'm really excited, guys. As usual, I've been really enjoying Madtober. I love just having October of each year to watch spooky, scary movies. And once again, I'm having a blast this year. So I'm excited to check out another one of Alfred Hitchcock's movies, because he has not disappointed me yet. So I'm ready to check this out, see if it has any commonalities with Psycho, or if it's just completely different. I have a feeling the only commonality might be the birds, because there were birds in Psycho, but they were stuffed. The birds were the victims, but in this one, I feel like it's going to be a bit different. So without further ado, guys, let's jump in and let's check out The Birds. Yep, definitely looks like crows. I love that rapid cutting of the birds flying back and forth. Edith Head strikes again, so I know the costumes are going to be fantabulous. Trainer of the birds. It would be funny if it said, no humans were harmed in the making of this movie. Another blonde, of course. The prerequisite of a Hitchcock movie.
Oh, hello, Miss Daniels.
Have you ever seen so many gulls?
Well, there must be a storm at sea that can drive them inland, you know. I was hoping you'd be a little late. He hasn't arrived yet. I've been calling all morning. They are so difficult to get. We have to get them from India when they're just baby chicks.
This one won't be a chick, Willie.
This will be a full-grown minor bird.
Well, maybe you'd better deliver him. Let me give you my address.
I'm sure they're on the way. Would you mind if I called?
No, all right.
I wonder if you could help me.
Yes, what is it you're looking for, sir?
Lovebird.
Lovebird.
These are for my sister for her birthday. Do you happen to have a pair of birds that are this friendly?
Oh, I think so. Here we are. Lovebirds.
Those are canaries. Is there an ornithological reason for keeping them in separate cages?
Well, certainly. It's to protect the species.
Especially during the molting season. Are they molting now?
Some of them are.
toucan.
Are you sure you wouldn't like to see a canary instead?
All right, may I see it, please?
Oh, oh.
Good luck getting that back.
There we are. Back in your gilded cage, Melanie Daniels.
How did you know my name?
We met in court.
When?
Don't you remember one of your practical jokes that resulted in the smashing of a plate glass window? Judge should have put you behind bars. I'm not too keen on practical joking.
Well, what do you call your lovebird story, if not
Oh, I really wanted the lovebird. I just thought you might like to know what it's like to be on the other end of a gag. What do you think of that?
I think you're a louse.
I am. Good day, Miss Daniels.
I feel like I'm looking at a pair of lovebirds right now.
They said the minor bird would be here later this afternoon if you care to come back.
No, you'd better send him. May I use this phone?
Why, certainly.
What is a minor bird? Is that what they're saying?
Hello, Charlie. Melanie. I want you to do a favor for me. Find out who owns this license plate. WJH003. Thank you, Charlie.
She's a mischievous one.
Do you have any lovebirds?
I can order them for you.
How soon?
Well, I could probably have them here by tomorrow morning. Would that be all right?
That would be just fine.
She's plotting. She's scheming. You know, it's funny, I just read about lovebirds recently, and I can't remember, is it the male or the female that's really brightly colored? I can't remember, but it was fascinating.
Is that for Mitch Brenner?
Yes.
He won't be back until Monday. I mean, if those birds are for him.
Where did he go?
Bodega Bay. He goes there every weekend.
Where's that?
Up the coast about 60 miles north of here.
Who's that? It's Buddy? Man, she's driving 60 miles for this man just to take in these birds. She's got the love bug. Oh, look at her. They're like leaning as she's turning. That was cute. That's pretty. She's got money. That much is obvious. Who was she calling? Was it the Daily News?
I wonder if you could help me. I'm looking for a man named Mitchell Brenner. Do you know him?
Yeah,
Where does he live?
right across the bay there.
Where?
See where I'm pointing? That's where the Brenners live.
The Brenners.
Just Lydia and the two kids. Mitch and the little girl.
Huh?
I don't want them to see me arrive. It's a surprise, you see.
You could get yourself a boat and cut right across the bay to their dock.
Where would I get a boat?
Want me to order one for you?
Well, thank you.
What name?
Daniels.
She's going all out.
I wonder if you could tell me the little girl's name.
Alice, I think. Harry, what's the little Brenner girl's name? Lois.
Which one is it?
Well, I need her exact name, you see.
In that case, I'll tell you what you do. Near the top of the hill, you'll see the school. And just beyond, a little house with a red mailbox. That's where Annie Hayworth, the school teacher, lives. You ask her about the little Brenner girl.
She's going to so much trouble for this. This is a nice little small town. Very quaint and pleasant for now.
Miss Hayworth, I'm Melanie Daniels. I'm sorry to bother you, but...
Yes?
Well, the man at the post office sent me. He said you could tell me the name of the little Brenner girl.
Kathy?
He seemed sure it was either Alice or Lois.
Which is why the mail never gets delivered to the right place in this town.
Kathy. They're throwing so many fake names at me.
Are you a friend of Mitch's?
No, not really.
Are you planning on staying long?
No, just a few hours.
Oh, then you're leaving after you see Kathy.
Well, something like that.
She sounds jealous. She's like, am I going to have competition for this man, or are you clearing out sometime soon?
Did you drive up from San Francisco by the Coast Road?
Yes.
Is that where you met Mitch?
Yes.
I guess that's where everyone meets Mitch.
Where everyone meets Mitch?
Oh, pretty. What are they?
Lovebirds.
I see. Good luck, Miss Daniels.
Thank you.
Well, that was a odd exchange. She seems like she likes Mitch and was already trying to feel out Melanie and what her purpose and her intentions were. That was odd how she was like, I guess that's where everyone meets Mitch. What does that mean? Have many girls come looking for him before? Is he a player? What's going on? If I know anything about Hitchcock, it's that nothing is what it seems.
Do you have a boat for Miss Daniels?
It's the one right below.
Is he just sending her off by herself on that boat? Does she know what she's doing? That is so odd. Wow, look at that. It's a small, rickety boat. I'd be a little nervous. Why am I nervous? She just went into his house without asking. She should have just gone into the barn and been like, hey dude, I brought you some lovebirds. Now she's gonna scare the crap out of him probably. Or he's gonna scare the crap out of her. She's just gonna leave without talking to him? She went to all that trouble? Just gonna leave a mysterious note and leave? Really is a mischievous one. She went to all that trouble just for a gag, as they call it. Spotted. She's very pleased with herself. Well, that was ominous.
You all right?
Yes, I think so.
That's the damnedest thing I ever saw. I don't know. It seemed to swoop down at you deliberately. Come on.
Now everyone's going to see them together. So much for secrecy.
You cut yourself outside in this?
Don't worry, Deke. She did it in a boat.
Well, I had a man trip and fall in the parking lot once. Sued me before I could bat an eyelash.
I don't think Miss Daniels is going to sue anybody.
Well, you're the lawyer.
What's that?
Just some peroxide.
So you're a lawyer.
That's right. What are you doing up here?
Didn't you see the lovebirds?
Oh, you mean you came all this way to bring me those birds?
To bring your sister those birds. She said it was her birthday. Besides, I was coming up anyway.
What for?
To see a friend of mine,
Who's your friend?
Annie Hayworth.
How do you know Annie?
We went to school together. College.
Don't lie. Lying to a lawyer is a bad idea. He's gonna just question her until she gets caught in a web of lies.
I think he came up to see me. She must have gone to a lot of trouble to find out who I was and where I lived.
No, it was no trouble at all. I simply called my father's newspaper.
You really liked me, huh?
I loathe you. You have no manners, you're arrogant and conceited, and I wrote you a letter about it, in fact, but I tore it up. I can't say I like your seagulls much either. I come all the way up here to...
But you were coming up anyway, remember?
Mitch, what are you doing in town?
Mother, I'd like you to meet Melanie Daniels. Miss Daniels, my mother. Miss Daniels brought us some birds from San Francisco. As a matter of fact, Miss Daniels is staying up here for the weekend, so I've already invited her for dinner tonight.
Oh, I couldn't possibly.
You did say birds.
Yes, lovebirds.
Oh, I see.
Mother does not seem pleased.
Where are you staying?
With Annie, of course.
Oh, of course. How stupid of me.
I don't know if you want to associate yourself with Annie when you know nothing about Annie. She could be cray-cray. Mrs. Brenner seems most displeased.
I was wondering, that sign there. Do you suppose I could have the room for just a single night?
Well, all right.
You see, I hadn't planned on staying very long.
Did something unexpected come up?
Yes. May I use your phone? I'd like to call home.
I just put some coffee on the stove. Don't they ever stop migrating?
Well, now I'm wondering if it's going to be crazy seagulls trying to kill people. I love her fur coat. It's so pretty. So luxurious and elegant.
Hi.
Hi, Miss Daniels.
Yes?
Oh, they're beautiful.
Well, she's friendly.
We're very glad you could come. You hungry?
Reasonably.
Dinner's just about ready. We've been out back looking at the chickens. Something seems to be wrong with them.
The chickens. It's all the birds. It's going to be some virus or something that affects all of the birds, not just one kind.
Fred, that feed you sold me is no good. I opened a sack for them when I got home and they just wouldn't touch it. Dan Fawcett. This afternoon, well, that just proves what I'm saying. The feed you sold us... Oh. Well, I'll try to go over and see him. Maybe he... All right. Thanks. He had a call from Dan Fawcett a while ago. His chickens won't eat either.
Mr. Brinkmeyer's feed is no good.
No, Kathy. He sold Mr. Fawcett a different brand. You don't think they're getting sick, do you, Mitch?
Sick in the head, maybe. They don't want bird feed anymore. They want human flesh.
Are you coming to my party tomorrow?
I don't think so.
If you do decide to come, don't say I told you about it. It's supposed to be a surprise party. Won't you please come?
I don't think so.
Why not? It's another chance to be around Mitch.
She's very rich, isn't she?
Yeah, I suppose so. The father's part owner of one of the big newspapers in San Francisco.
You'd think he could manage to keep her name out of print. She is the one who jumped into a fountain in Rome last summer, isn't she?
Yes.
Actually, the newspaper said she was naked.
Yes, I know, dear.
Oh dear.
I think I can handle Melanie Daniels by myself.
As long as you know what you want, Mitch.
He wants the bad girl blonde. That's what he wants.
Will I be seeing you again? Maybe we could go swimming or something. Mother tells me you like to swim.
How does Mother know what I like to do?
I guess we read the same gossip columns.
Oh, that. The newspaper that ran that story happens to be a rival of my father's paper.
The truth is you're running around with a pretty wild crowd, isn't it?
Oh, yes, but I was pushed into that fountain, and that's the truth, too.
Do you really know Annie Hayworth?
No.
You were lying.
Yes, I was lying.
What about the letter you wrote me? Is that a lie, too?
I wrote the letter. It said, Dear Mr. Brenner, I think you need these lovebirds after all. They may help your personality.
Still like to see you.
Why?
I think it might be fun.
They have good chemistry. Oh my. That was extremely unsettling. Oh my gosh.
Well, how did your evening go? Or would you rather I change the subject?
I think so. Where are you from originally, Annie?
San Francisco.
How did you happen to come up here?
A friend invited me up for a weekend a long time ago. Look, I see no reason for being coy about this. It was Mitch Brenner. I guess you knew that anyway.
I knew it.
Well, you needn't worry. It's been over and done with a long time ago.
Annie, there's nothing between Mr. Brenner and me.
Well, maybe there isn't. Maybe there's never been anything between Mitch and any girl.
Oh, he is a player.
I was seeing a lot of him in San Francisco. Then one weekend, he invited me up to meet Lydia. When I got back to San Francisco, I spent days trying to figure out exactly what I'd done to displease her.
What had you done?
I simply existed. Now that I'm no longer a threat, we're very good friends.
Why did she object to you?
Because she was afraid. Afraid of any woman who would give Mitch the one thing Lydia can give him. Love. You see, she's not afraid of losing Mitch. She's only afraid of being abandoned.
What about Mitch? Didn't he have anything to say about this?
He'd just been through a lot with Lydia after his father died. He didn't want to risk going through it all again. So it ended.
Then what are you doing here in Bodega Bay?
I wanted to be near Mitch. You see, I still like him a hell of a lot.
Yes, I can tell. Friendship.
He wants me to go to Kathy's party tomorrow afternoon. I said I would.
I'll be there, too, to help.
Do you think I should go?
Oh, that's up to you.
No, it's really up to Lydia, isn't it?
Never mind Lydia. Do you want to go?
Yes.
Then go.
Thank you, Annie.
Wonder who that can be.
It's the birds.
Probably lost his way in the dark.
But it isn't dark, Annie. There's a full moon.
Full moon. Oh my goodness. The slow burn. Those are the worst shoes to be walking in sand in.
Seriously, why do you have to rush off? What's so important in San Francisco?
Well, I have to get to work tomorrow morning, for one thing.
You have a job?
I do different things on different days.
Like what?
Well, on Mondays and Wednesdays, I work for the Traveler's Aid at the airport. On Tuesdays, I take a course in general semantics at Berkeley. And on Thursdays, I have my meeting and lunch. You see, Rome, well, it was very easy to get lost there. So when I came back, I thought it was time I began, finding something again.
Something of substance.
What about Fridays?
I sometimes go to bird shops on Fridays.
I'm very glad you do.
I have an Aunt Tessa. I'm giving her a minor bird when she comes back from Europe. Minor birds talk, you know.
You need a mother's care, my child.
Not my mother's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That struck a nerve.
She ditched us when I was 11 and ran off with some hotel man in the East.
Don't you ever see her?
I don't know where she is.
A woman with basically no mother and a man who has a too clinging mother. Annie can't help herself. She's still in love with Mitch.
Look! Hey!
Look out! Look out for the murder goals. Ugh. Oh my gosh, get it off of her. Ugh. Now that all the children are thoroughly traumatized, I hope these cuts they're getting don't, like, infect them with the crazy virus that the birds have, and then they go crazy.
Why didn't Annie stay for dinner?
Said something about going home to take a call from her sister in the East.
I'm sure Miss Daniels wants to be on her way.
I think you ought to stay the night, Melanie.
That road can be a pretty bad one at night, too, you know.
Just listen to those lovebirds.
Ah! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, there's like hundreds of them. That's not gonna work. Run upstairs and shut yourself in a bedroom. That is crazy.
Do you have a light burning or something?
Yes, but there wouldn't have been that much light going up the chimney.
Because sometimes birds are attracted by light, you know.
Tell him about the party.
We had a party here this afternoon for Kathy for her birthday. In the middle of the party, some seagulls came down at the children.
Were the kids bothering the birds or something?
Oh my gosh, blaming the people.
Those gulls attacked.
Attack's a pretty strong word, don't you think?
No, not when they were attacking.
Kids probably scared them, that's all.
Oh my gosh.
I'll take Kathy up to bed. I think I should stay, don't you?
It would be nice if you could.
My things are in the car. Do you want to go with me?
All right.
Don't go out to the car.
Mitch!
Yes, Mother?
I'm going to drop Kathy off now. I'll probably drive over to the Fawcett farm.
Okay.
Wouldn't want to drive anywhere in that place after that happened. Car could get swarmed with birds.
Dad, are you home?
What if he's been killed by the murder birds? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He's been killed by the murder. Oh my gosh. The eyes. That was horrifying. Oh my gosh. Yeah, why don't you show the sheriff or deputy, whatever. Show him that. See if he's like, he must have provoked the birds.
Al Malone, the deputy, just called. He wants me over at the Fawcett place.
Oh, be careful, please.
And you be careful.
Well, they're officially a thing now.
Do you think Kathy's all right at the school?
Yes, I'm sure she's fine.
They have such big windows at school. All the windows are broken in Dan's bedroom.
Try not to think about that.
I wish I were a stronger person.
I don't think many people would be chill after seeing something like that.
I feel as if I don't understand you at all, and I want so much to understand.
Why, Mrs. Brenner?
Because my son seems to be very fond of you, and I don't quite know how I feel about it. I don't even know if I like you or not.
She's very blunt, isn't she?
Mitch is important to me. I want to like whatever girl he chooses, but I don't want to be left alone.
Gosh, I feel a lot of sympathy, a lot of empathy for her. She just doesn't want to be alone.
Do you think she's all right at the school?
Would you like me to go for her?
Would you?
I'll go right now.
I don't think she's clinging in a creepy way. She's just grieving. She doesn't want to be left alone when he gets a wife.
Thanks for the tea.
That was a good scene. I feel like they can bond. I think there can be potential here for healing. Maybe Melanie could be someone she could talk to. And she never had a mother figure, so Lydia could be the mother figure she never had in her life, or didn't have after she was 11. I'm getting nervous every time someone's outside now. I mean, they're not even safe inside. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Ah, every time it cuts back, there's more. They're about to swarm the school.
Close that door quickly.
What?
Please.
What is it?
Look. We've got to get the children out of here.
All right, children, now quiet. Quiet. Miss Daniels would like to see how we conduct ourselves during a fire drill. We're going out of school now. I want those of you who live nearby to go directly home. I want the rest of you to go down the hill all the way to the hotel. Now, is that clear?
Sending them outside. Oh my gosh. Oh no, I can't with the pecking. No. Ugh. How far is it to a building? My gosh. Oh, are they going away?
No, the birds didn't attack until the children were outside the school. Crows, I think. Well, I don't know, Daddy. Is there a difference between crows and blackbirds?
There is very definitely a difference, miss.
Well, I think these were crows.
They're both perching birds, of course, but quite different species.
Oh, we got a bird expert here.
I hardly think that either species would have sufficient intelligence to launch a massed attack. Birds are not aggressive creatures, miss.
It's the end of the world, and I will devastate your high places. Ezekiel chapter 6.
Not everything is the end of the world, man. It's just some crazy birds.
Could you ask them to lower their voices, please? They're frightening the children.
Oh, they should be frightened. They should be on the lookout.
Birds have been on this planet, Miss Daniels, since Archaeopteryx, 140 million years ago. Doesn't it seem odd that they'd wait all that time to start a war against humanity?
Get yourselves guns and wipe them off the face of the earth.
It's the end of the world.
There's the guy going, it's the end of the world, and there's the guy going, just shoot them all.
You're all sitting around here debating. What do you want him to do next? Crash through that window?
Seems like they're upsetting her more than the children.
What's the fastest way to San Francisco?
The freeway, ma'am.
I'm going out that way, lady. You can follow me.
Well, then let's leave now.
Haven't finished my drink yet.
Oh, I got as fast as I could. Where's Kathy?
She's with Annie. She's all right.
I just got back from Dan Fawcett's place, that's
Yes, and
why.
he was killed last night by birds.
What?
Are you coming?
Now, take it easy, lady. There isn't a bird anywhere in sight.
I'm leaving. Are you coming?
All right, all right. Now, hope you folks figure this thing out.
It's the end of the world.
I don't want to be an alarmist
No
about
one
this.
ever said you were, miss.
I think we're in real trouble. I don't know how this started or why, but I know it's here, and we'd be crazy to ignore it.
The bird war.
Call it what you like. They're massing out there someplace, and they'll be back. You can count on it.
Look!
They're attacking again.
And we're in a diner with a bunch of giant windows. Is that guy dead? He's not getting up.
Hey, you!
Oh my gosh. Uh-oh. Why is everyone going outside? And she goes in a glass phone booth. It's a death trap. Yeah, spray him with a hose and see what happens. What are you doing? Oh boy. Get out. Whole place cleared out. Why did no one stay in there?
Why are they doing this? They said when you got here, the whole thing started.
They're blaming her?
Where did you come from? I think you're the cause of all this.
What?
I think you're evil! Evil!
She deserved that. This is crazy.
The crows again.
Shh. Come on.
Don't run, walk and see what happens. Don't say a word. Is that Annie? Is she dead?
Where's Kathy?
Oh my gosh.
Mitch, don't!
No, don't make him angry. Gosh.
Oh, don't leave her there, Mitch.
Why are the birds just sitting there right now? Why do they attack at random times and then other times they're just sitting there? What's the psychology, the reasoning behind it? Not a convertible, the worst car to be in right now. They can tear through that covering. Man. Yeah, for real. That's what I'd be doing.
Seems like a pattern, doesn't it? They strike, then disappear, and then start massing again. You want to try your father again?
No, I tried a little while ago. The phone's dead.
Mitch, I'm getting something on the radio.
Suspect.
In Bodega Bay early this morning, a large flock of crows attacked children who were leaving the school during a fire drill. So far, no word has come through to show if there have been further attacks.
Was that all? I'll have to get some more wood in. Let's let this fire go out.
I think you maybe should have just boarded up the top of the chimney.
What happens when you run out of wood?
I don't know. We'll break up the furniture.
You don't know. If only your father was here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mitch.
Make us all some coffee, huh?
Guys, I have no predictions. I have nothing. I don't know.
Can I bring the lovebirds in here?
No.
Let's leave them in the kitchen, huh, honey?
Don't know what's causing it. I don't understand. When will it end? You don't know because you don't know what caused it. I was half expecting the birds to be out of the cage when the camera panned back around.
Why are they doing this? The birds? Why are they trying to kill people?
I wish I could say.
Don't go in the kitchen. I'm gonna get nervous every time someone goes in the kitchen. Ugh.
I'm sick, Melanie.
I'll go with you.
Poor thing. Saw our teacher get murdered by a bunch of birds. Okay, I was gonna say do not open the door. That's why you should have boarded up the chimney instead of just starting a fire. Oh my gosh, I thought they boarded up all the windows. Oh Lord, they're coming through the wood. Break their necks, Mitch, just... That's so horrifying. It's so terrifying because there's like nowhere to go. No. Oh my gosh, are they all gonna die? I don't see a way out of this unless the birds just give up and leave. Holy crap, that shift in lighting was terrifying. Oh god. Lord. They're about to like come through the roof too. They leave. They're gonna be back as soon as that firewood runs out. Just waiting. Never dreaded the flutter of wings so much. Don't shine a light. They're attracted to the lights. Don't go up there. Don't. Why? Why would you let it in? You can hear it. Oh my gosh. Why did you go in there? Oh gosh, I can't watch. Oh my gosh. Oh. Are you kidding me? Just open the door. Open the door and get out. Oh, I would have thrown open that door so fast. Oh my gosh, I can't watch this. This is horrible. I just don't even want to look anymore. Oh gosh, I don't want to look. That was one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen. I thought she was dead. Thought, well, this is how it ends. She just gets pecked to death in the attic. I told her not to go in the attic. They never listened to me.
We've got to get her to a hospital.
We'd never make it.
We have to try. We can't stay here. She needs help. We better get started before another attack comes. We'll take Melanie's car. That'll be faster than the truck.
This seems like a terrible idea. Are you kidding me? You see that and you're going to walk outside? I can't. I see that. I'm never going outside. Mitch is about to die. He's not coming back. Oh my gosh, I can't watch. Just have a really bad feeling about this.
Bodega Bay has been cordoned off by roadblocks. It appears that the bird attacks come in waves with long intervals between. The reason for this does not seem clear as yet.
They are not going to like that. Can't believe he made it. Thought he was gonna die for sure.
Did you hear anything on the radio?
It's all right.
No. No.
Oh gosh, she's gonna like freak out and they're all gonna get killed. I just,
Mitch?
Kathy, oh my gosh.
Can I bring the lovebirds, Mitch?
No. Oh Lord. It's gonna be the lovebirds, isn't it? This is another terrible idea. Leaving is a good idea. Bringing the birds, bad idea. That is terrifying. It ends there? Are you kidding me? What? Oh my gosh. Y'all. I don't know how I feel about this. This is sort of how I felt at the end of Vertigo, but at the end of Vertigo I felt much more satisfied, if that makes sense. I felt like the story reached a natural conclusion. But this, I'm like, it just ended. Like, what happened? I mean, I'm assuming they drove off and left the town and went to, you know, San Francisco or somewhere safe, but it just did the birds just take over that town and no one's gonna settle there again? Like, the birds just win and the birds take over? Do the birds eventually decide to take over more and more towns and they eventually take over the world and it is the end of the world? I don't know. I don't know. There's no answers. There's no like, this is why the birds started attacking. I thought there was going to be some kind of explanation at some point, like, you know, there's some weird virus that infected the birds in this area and that's why they started attacking people. I thought there was going to be some kind of explanation, but there wasn't. So now my mind is just searching for meaning and I'm like, okay, this feels like a very psychological piece and I'm trying to trying to work out the answers, but I also don't know if he wants us to know the answers or if it's just kind of one of those weird open-ended pieces where it's like you can think what you want. But okay, what my mind is going to is Melanie, okay, because she's our central character, she's our protagonist, and she's a very interesting character. All of, you know, her and Lydia were the two most interesting characters in this to me, in terms of their, you know, complexity and how they think. And what's interesting is, okay, so there was that moment in the diner where all the women were hiding in the diner. I noticed it was all women and not men in the diner, and the one mother says to her, you know, you're evil. It all started when you came here and it's your fault and everything. And so I'm like, is there some kind of thematic connection between Melanie and the birds? Like, obviously she's not evil. She was, you know, mischievous and a little bit of a bad girl, probably a little bit of a, you know, partier or something, you know, rich girl, but she was a very nice person when it came down to it. Like, she was starting to bond with Lydia, whereas, you know, Annie Hayworth did not. It's like they formed a real connection, and Melanie really seemed nothing but nice. You know, she was starting up a relationship with Mitch because she wanted something of real substance, and I think was kind of tired of the life she had been living and wanted to maybe start to settle down somewhere. And then she was really kind to Kathy, and Kathy really liked her, and she cared about Kathy, you know, going to get her out of the school and all of that, and then bonding with Lydia, and, you know, she was very likable, you know, despite her flaws and her, you know, complexities, she was very likable. I mean, that's what makes a character likable and interesting, right, is their complexity. But I mean, in terms of like thinking in universe, she seemed just like a very nice person, and it's, I don't know, it almost felt like she was being punished for something. And, you know, there was a comment from Mitch near the beginning of the movie about Melanie being in a gilded cage, and I thought that was strange, because I was like, what does he mean by that? What is her gilded cage? She seemed to be free to do whatever she wanted, and she had all the money in the world, didn't even work. Her daddy's rich, you know, but it's not like she was being controlled by her dad or controlled by like a cruel husband. She didn't have one. I mean, there was no one caging her in, which makes me think she's in a cage of her own making. Even the money and the resources don't satisfy her. Obviously, she's looking for love and still searching for real meaning and happiness. So she's in a cage of her own making, and that really, I think, came home when she goes in the attic, because it doesn't logically make sense for her to go in the attic. You hear the fluttering wings and you're like, why would you open that door? Why would you go in there, you know? Because the birds are obviously in there, but she goes in there and you're like, why? And she couldn't get out. That was what got me. I'm like, just open the door and get out. It's not like she was so overwhelmed by the birds that she couldn't move. She was flailing all over the place. She could have opened the door and run out and shut the door behind her, but she didn't. And that to me feels less like a plot error than he's trying to tell us something. And so I was thinking about the gilded cage, and I'm thinking cage of her own making, and she can't get her. That's why she couldn't get herself out of the attic, because she can't get out of her cage that she's in, because it's a cage of her own making. So it had to be Mitch, it had to be Lydia and, you know, Kathy to get her out of the cage of her own making and to maybe save her from herself. I could be completely overthinking this, and Hitchcock would be like, you know, that was not what I was intending at all, but this is what happens. This is what happens when I am left with an open ending and no explanation. I have to fill in the blanks myself, because that's just how my mind works. I need answers, and I am always trying to find meaning in everything. So, I mean, he made this film for a reason, and I don't think it was just to make a film about birds attacking people. I think there has to be more to it, and I think it's very psychological. yeah, so, okay, Mitch and Lydia, you know, they save Melanie from the cage of her own making. They get her out, and she survives. And, you know, another interesting thing is she likes to visit bird shops. That's the first thing we learn about her. I mean, she's going into a bird shop, and I don't know if I don't think she owns any birds, but she likes birds, and she apparently buys them for people. Because she bought one for her Aunt Tessa, and then bought the 2 lovebirds for Mitch. So she likes buying birds and then giving them to people, but she wanted to give it to her Aunt Tessa to drive her crazy, basically, and you know, mess with her with the bird saying bad words and stuff. And so it was almost like it felt like a malicious kind of gift instead of one that her aunt would actually enjoy. But for Mitch, it was one that she was doing it to gain Mitch's favor, but it was a gift for Kathy because Kathy wanted the lovebirds. It's very interesting. Like, Melanie is fascinated by birds, likes birds, and then the birds end up being not her downfall, but they end up being this thing that attacks people, and terrifies her. And now she's obviously probably going to hate birds and have like a bird phobia after the experience she just went through. So that love of birds has probably been turned into a, you know, fear and hatred, which is interesting. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm really looking forward actually to reading the comments on this reaction, because this movie has been around a long time, 1963. I'm sure there's a lot of thoughts and a lot of theories on this movie, and I don't know if Alfred Hitchcock ever offered any kind of explanation or like confirmed any theories, you know, about this movie, or if it was just forever left unsolved. I don't know if there's any kind of sequel to this. Is there a Birds 2? I don't know. But I'm really curious about, like, I'm gonna assume a happy ending here, that they got out of town and then just moved on with their lives and settled somewhere else, and, you know, happy ending. But again, I don't know because it's left open. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of baffled by the whole thing. I was really enjoying it. I really was. But now I'm just kind of like, what does it all mean? Like, I don't have any answers. Like, with Psycho, it was wrapped up so neatly with a bow about why Norman Bates was doing what he was doing, and why everyone was doing what they were doing, and how, you know, it had a clear and defined conclusion. But with this, I'm just kind of left going, what what does it mean? What does it mean? I'm gonna be laying awake tonight going, what does it mean? Actually, probably I'm gonna go to the internet and be like, what does it mean? You know, typing it in. Wow. Yeah. I really liked Melanie. Really liked her as a character. She was very fascinating. And at first I was not sure what I was going to think about her, but I really liked her. She really grew on me as the story went on. I liked Mitch. I was not sure about him at first. I was like, is he a player? But I don't think so. You know, he seemed like a good guy. And I loved how he just took charge at the end, you know, when they were all just terrified, and he just took charge, man, like boarding up the windows, you know, closing the windows where the birds were coming in. I mean, he was a good man, and he took care of the women at the end, and I applaud him for that. He held it together. He didn't just, you know, break down, and, you know, he took charge, and I appreciated Mitch for that, and I loved Kathy. She was a nice kid. I really liked Lydia. I was not sure. Like, at first I was like, don't mess up Melanie and Mitch. They want happiness, right? And I was rooting for them. And I was wondering if she was going to try to, you know, come between them, which she kind of seemed like she might be going that direction at first. But then Lydia and Melanie really bonded, and it was just really beautiful. And I ended up really liking Lydia and just empathizing with her. I mean, who couldn't, right? Like, she lost her husband just 4 years ago. She's still grieving. She doesn't want her son to, like, move out or kick her out, and then she's all alone. She didn't want to be forced to grapple with that, and was afraid that if a woman came into Mitch's life, that woman would then kick her out of his life, and she would be, you know, replaced and all of that, and then her son wouldn't care about her anymore. So all of her, like, motivations and stuff were completely understandable. and she was, yeah, just a really empathetic character. Yeah, there was no villain in this movie except the birds and maybe Melanie against herself. Really, really interesting. I'm gonna wrap up this review because I feel like I've been talking a while and I just keep kind of going around in circles, but yeah, I'm just gonna be like, what does it mean? What does it mean? Yeah, so let me know in the comments below, what do you think it means? What is the message, the theme of the birds? What does it mean to you? What did Alfred Hitchcock ever say what it meant? You know, let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction, and if you want to see the full-length version of this reaction, it is of course on my Patreon, link in the description below, and there's lots of other fun stuff over on my Patreon as well, voting on polls for what I'm going to watch next, and all kinds of fun extra content, so check that out if you're interested. And yeah, be sure to like this video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this Hitchcock double feature of Psycho and then The Birds, two very, very different films for sure, but both super fascinating. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will be back next week for the 4th and final week of Madtober. What will I be watching next? You'll have to wait and see. Thanks again, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next week for another Film Friday. Bye, guys.